What's good with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana back with these fight predictions. Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, Madison Square Garden. It's going down. It's gonna be a fucking crazy main event. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I had a gut feeling these guys were probably gonna be squaring off against each other eventually. I mean, they were gonna eventually be in the same weight division. They're both beasts, and yeah, it's gonna get crazy. So I'm gonna go straight into the prelims. I couldn't get my predictions out until today. I had a busy week, but I'm gonna just go through these pretty quick for you guys. My thoughts on them. Julio Arce versus Hakeem Dawodu. Arce is a 16-3 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 5 subs, and 1 sub loss, 2 decision losses. This dude's super durable. He's a very explosive fighter. He's fought a few big names. Dan Ige won, Daniel Tamir, Shaman Marias. His last loss by split decision to Shaman, which, I mean, it could have went either way. That's why it was a split decision. And he had a pretty good performance. And then his previous win was he knocked out Julian Erosa. And honestly, Erosa was in the fight. He probably could have beat him, but he got clipped later on in the fight. And yeah, Erosa was pressuring him the whole time. Julio Arce was on his back foot, which is never good for a fighter usually, unless you're a really good counter striker. Which Julio Arce, he's a pretty good counter striker. He's versatile. He's got good groundwork, and his overall striking is pretty good. So I mean, he's a well-rounded fighter. But he's fighting this dude, Hakeem Dawodu, mean Hakeem. This dude's beast, man. 10-1 record, 7 KOs, 3 decision wins. He's tough. He's gritty. Never gives up in his fights. Even after him getting submitted in his last loss, he went straight to sleep. He didn't even tap. So most people tap in those situations, and he's not one of them. He's got very fluid movement. He's light on his feet. He's not flat-footed. And his cardio, man, it's one thing that he has really good. His cardio is up to par with the best, in my own opinion. His knees and elbows are fucking vicious, nasty clinch game. This is going to be an interesting one. I have a question mark on my notes on this one because I'm kind of going back and forth. I feel like it could go either way. And I do feel like it's probably going to go to decision. Somebody could get knocked out in this one, but I do feel like it's going to go to decision. Julio Arce is the underdog on this one on DraftKings, but something's telling me to pick Hakeem, man. Hakeem, this guy's on the rise, and he's got the momentum with him, so I'm going to roll with Hakeem Dawodu. Mean Hakeem, he's pretty good. Next fight, Lyman Good versus Chance Rencontra. Lyman Good, Cyborg, 20-5 record, 10 KOs/TKOs, 3 sub wins. Shit, man. His questionable cardio. He has 1 sub loss and 4 decision losses, so he is durable. Durable as fuck, actually. This guy's a tank. His only sub loss was to Damian Maia, which isn't really a bad loss because, I mean, all the best, usually, if you go to the ground with Damian Maia, we've seen it with Ben Askren in the last fight. If you go to the ground with this guy, you're probably going to get submitted because that's his world. That's his element. That's what he wants to do. And Lyman Good just didn't have an answer for it. So this guy throws a lot of volume. He always pressures forward. He's never on his back foot. And he throws with bad intentions, man. His wrestling defense is questionable. Definitely questionable because all the fighters that he's lost against have all been wrestlers. He lost to Ben Askren a while back. I want to say like 5 years ago. And he just bullies his opponents. He's just relentless. He kind of reminds me of, what's that one? Paulo Costa, but it's just a smaller version. In Paulo Costa, we see what he does to guys. He goes straight to the body, and he just never gives up. But his Lyman Good's cardio is questionable, so he's very muscular. I feel like he'll gas out probably around the second if it goes to the second round, which it probably will because Chance Rencontra, Black Eagle, 14-3 record. He's coming off 2 dominant performances versus Ishmael Nardeev and Kyle Stewart. Ishmael, that guy disappointed me. I picked him. I thought this guy was the wondering, what is it? I can't remember his fucking nickname, but yeah, he fucking disappointed me. That dude, he was supposed to be the shit. I thought he was gonna come in and fucking knock Chance out, and Chance just grinded him out. He gassed him out. Tied him up against the cage a lot of times, and this is what he does to all of his opponents. He just wrestles you until you get tired, and then he fucking just keeps punching you in the face, and that's his game plan. So, a lot like Khabib. I'm not saying that he's not even near as good as Khabib, but he has a similar style. 6 KOs/TKOs. That's a lot for a person who's a wrestler too. That with that many KOs. Usually you don't see wrestlers with KOs like that. 3 sub wins, 3 decision losses. So The main thing with this guy is his cardio. His cardio, he's gonna outwork Lyman Good, plain and simple. If you're picking Lyman Good, it's not I wouldn't say it's a bad pick because he's explosive and he could knock him out if he catches him in the first round. But Chance is gonna take this guy down at will. He's gonna take him down at will. All that muscle doesn't mean anything. And this guy, Black Eagle, he's on the rise, man. He doesn't even look like he would be a really great fighter, but he's showing something new in each one of his fights. So I feel like he'll get the job done. I feel like he'll get the decision victory, maybe even a submission victory, honestly. And he gets about 1 to 2 takedowns per fight, so that's pretty good. That's consistent. Next fight, Caitlin Chukagian versus Jennifer Maia. Blonde fighter, 12-2 record, 2 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win. She's ranked #1 in the division. 2 decision losses. She's very tall for the division, long limbs, 5'9". She's fighting someone who's 5'4", so that's already not looking too good for Jennifer Maia. She's a very good counter striker. But the thing with her, and her jabs and body kicks, and head kicks, she uses all of that stuff really well. She has good kickboxing background, and I'm not gonna say she's a high volume striker because she's always on her back foot when she's striking, which is weird because she's the taller fighter. She should be pressuring her opponents and she should be using that range, in my own opinion. And she was the CFFC flyweight champ before the UFC, so that's something to look at. And she fought Joanne Calderwood and beat her by decision, which I felt like it could have been a split decision. I feel like Joanne Calderwood actually pieced her up on the feet. And I picked Joanne Calderwood to win that one, but she lost. So, yeah, and she lost against Jessica Eye by split decision. We all know Jessica Eye is a fucking beast, but she shouldn't have lost. Caitlin Chukagian is just she's a better fighter than Jessica Eye, but yeah, she relies too much on her counter strike, and she's not the pressure fighter usually, and that tends to be bad sometimes. Her favorite submission is her arm bar. She really doesn't have any power behind her punches. She doesn't really like throw everything into it. She just kind of point strikes. So she's kind of a decision fighter in my own opinion. I feel like this is probably going to go to decision if she does win. But Jennifer Maia, 17-5 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 4 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 1 sub loss. She won last 2 fights by decision. Dominated Roxanne Modafferi, but I mean that's not even. Roxanne doesn't look like a fighter. She shouldn't even be in the UFC in my own opinion. She is great on the ground. She has great sub game, but that's all she has. She's super one-dimensional. And it's called MMA for a reason because you got to mix that bitch up. And she doesn't. So Maia strikes. She strikes with bad intentions. She's very short for the division, but she does pressure all of her opponents. So she has to get in distance for Caitlin Chukagian to really do any damage. But she's also another decision fighter. Her last loss was to Liz Carmouche, which isn't a bad loss either because Carmouche she's been around the game for a while. But I'm rolling with, fuck, man. I have a question mark by this one too because it could go either way. These girl fights are always kind of hard to pick unless you know that it's like Amanda Nunes or Shevchenko or someone like that who you know is just going to dominate their opponent. They're just on a different kind of level.
These girls new?
Nah, these girls have been around for a minute, yeah. But I'm going to roll with Caitlin Chukagian on this one. I hope it doesn't work against me because something was telling me to pick Jennifer Maia, but I just feel like that reach advantage is just too much. 5'9" to 5'4", that's a big gap. So, all right, we're going into the prelims. Andrei Arlovski versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. The Pitbull versus Biggie Boy. 28-18 record. 17 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 10 KO/TKO losses, 1 sub loss, and this guy's 40 years old. I felt like Andrei Arlovski honestly should have retired probably 5 years ago. I've been a fan of Arlovski for a long time, but I just feel like it's too much wear and tear, man. Lost to Sakai, Shamil. He beat Ben Rothwell by a decision, which I felt like Ben should have won that fight as well. I feel like he was on a 3-fight losing streak before that. I kind of feel like they were just giving Arlovski a win at that point. Just giving him kind of a decision win, something to go off of. He's very low volume. He throws bombs. If he catches you, he's a heavyweight. He's gonna knock you out. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he's 40 years old. But he does gas around the 2nd round. But his last fight, his cardio held up. Very questionable chin. He's had his jaw broken a few times. Anthony Johnson broke his jaw. He's been knocked out fucking TKO 10 times in his career. That's too many. That's honestly too many. But he's got a lot of fight experience. He's got pretty good movement and good boxing, and he's just a gritty fighter. Andrei Arlovski, he's honestly one of the best heavyweights ever to be in the UFC. But this new dude, Biggie Boy, man, I'm a fan of this guy. 8-0 record, 7 KO/TKOs, 1 decision win. 2 KO wins in the UFC over Junior Albini and Alan Crowder. Both guys are trash. In my own opinion, these guys shouldn't be in the UFC. But I mean, I feel like the heavyweight division, they got to get some more people in there, so they're just kind of throwing people out there right now. And seeing who does what. But this guy, man, he hits hard, athletic, very athletic for a heavyweight. This guy throws fucking flying knees and shit in some of his other videos. He's got some really good Muay Thai, throws nice leg kicks, switch kicks. His left hooks are fucking vicious. If he catches you with one of those, you're probably going to sleep. Pressures all of his opponents. He's very ruthless. Kickboxing background. But he's very new to the game. He's very green, and his cardio is questionable because all of his opponents he usually knocks out within the first or second round. So if he goes to the third round, I don't know if he's gonna have the cardio with Andrei Arlovski. But then again, Andrei's aging. He's getting old, and Andrei doesn't even have the best cardio anymore. But I'm gonna roll with Biggie Boy. I'm rolling with Jairzinho. I feel like he's probably gonna knock out on Andrei Arlovski in the first or second round. This dude's just too explosive. He's too wiry, and he's gonna be a problem in the heavyweight division. Next fight, Edmund Shabazian versus Brad Tavares. Edmund Shabazian, man, I've been a fan of this dude for a while too. I like Edmund. He's 10-0 record, very humble guy. 8 KO/TKOs and a sub win. Last 3 wins over Darren Stewart by split decision, Charles Byrd, TKO, and Jack Marshman. Darren Stewart looked great in his last performance. Darren the Dentist, he looked great in his last performance. He rear naked choked Jack Marshman, quick, dominated him. Jack didn't have an answer for him. And Jack Marshman's probably, I'm not gonna say he's one of the worst fighters, but he's just not, I don't think he's UFC caliber either. I don't know why they're keeping this guy around. But yeah, he's not the greatest fighter. But this dude, Edmund, man, quick hands, very strong in the clinch. He doesn't look like he'd be, but he is. Relentless finisher, very good takedowns and top pressure, and he's pretty much well-rounded. You're seeing that a lot with all the new era UFC fighters and mixed martial art fighters. They really are like super well-rounded, and they're becoming a true mixed martial arts fighter. All of these new guys, compared to the older generation. Brad Tavares, 17-5 record. This guy's been around for a minute, dude, and he's a fucking beast, and he's still hella young. 5 KO/TKOs, 2 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 3 decision losses. Lost his last fight to Israel Adesanya, when we all know Israel's the champion now. He knocked out Robert Whittaker in the 2nd round. And I've been following Israel for a while, since his kickboxing days, before he even got into the UFC. But and he's the champ now. He called it. He said it 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's not a bad loss to have. And he went to decision with Adesanya. So, I mean, and then he also lost. Brad Tavares got knocked out by Rob Whittaker, and Rob Whittaker was the champ before Adesanya. Yeah, the Reaper. Yeah, Rob Whittaker's a beast. So everybody that Brad Tavares has fought, they've all been high caliber. Most of them have been high caliber fighters. He puts everything into his strikes. But he also lost to Tim Boetsch, and Tim Boetsch is not a bad fighter either. He's just super flat-footed, and he's one-dimensional, and I feel like that was kind of a lucky fight, because Tavares is better. He's more well-rounded than Tim Boetsch. And that was a while back. So, and this dude's trips are pretty good. He has good takedown defense. So, fuck, I'm gonna roll with the younger dude. A lot of people are gonna be like, man, you're not going with Brad Tavares on this one. Brad Tavares is the underdog in this fight, which is weird. And it seems like every time I pick a fighter that's 10-0, 9-0, 8-0, they always end up getting that first loss when I pick them. So I hope that don't happen with Edmund Shabazian. But I'm gonna roll with Edmund on this one. I think he's gonna definitely get it done. Brad Tavares has really good cardio for that division as well. So next fight, Shane Burgos versus Makwan Amirkhani. Hurricane versus Mr. Finland. Hurricane's a beast, man. He's a beast. His backstory's crazy. He had like a really bad spinal injury. 12-1 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 1 TKO loss. He's on a 2-fight win streak over Cub Swanson and Kurt Hollowbro. He made light work of Cub Swanson, and I'm a fan of Cub. Cub's last fight was great. He made light work of him. He looked way bigger than him for the division. He's very well-rounded. He's a polished striker. He is hittable though. He leaves his chin out there to be hit. But he looks better in each one of his fights. hits very hard, pressures all of his opponents. He just walks them down. He walks all of his opponents down. It doesn't matter who they are. And he goes to the body a lot with his hooks. Very nice uppercuts. And like I said, his hooks are pretty fucking lethal, man. Good leg kicks. This guy's got the whole package. I mean, really, the only loss he has, that one loss in the UFC, was Calvin Kattar. And Calvin Kattar's, he's a rising star. That guy's something else, man. Because I picked Shane Burgos to beat Calvin Kattar, and he lost on that one too. I wasn't expecting that. He's fighting this dude, Makwan Amirkhani, Mr. Finland, 15-3 record, 1 KO/TKO, 10 sub victories. That's a lot. 1 sub loss, 2 decision losses. This dude's durable. I'm not a fan of Amirkhani at all. I don't like his fighting style, so I might be a little biased on this one. But sorry about that. His last loss was to Arnold Allen by split decision, and Arnold Allen was just a way bigger fighter than Amirkhani, and he just overpowered him. So that's not a bad loss to have either, because Arnold Allen's on the rise. And he submitted Chris Fishgold. I picked Chris Fishgold in this one. Fishgold was having a great performance, and he just got caught with that choke. I think it was a Darth choke. But yeah, this dude, he's pretty average. The only thing that he has is a submission game. Doesn't have any stand-up, so if he gets Shane Burgos to the ground, which I doubt it, Shane Burgos has like a 90% takedown defense. It's hard to get this guy down, and he's pretty big. So this guy, his striking is just not that good. Has a lot of ground experience, good top control, very good transitions, low volume, averages about 4 takedowns per fight. I'm rolling with Shane. I'm rolling with Hurricane. I can't pick Amirkhani on this one. I've went against him twice, and he beat both the opponents that I went against, but I'm gonna roll with Shane. I feel like he's probably gonna knock Amirkhani out if it's on the feet. Next fight, okay, we're going into, oh no, this isn't the main card yet. Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker. This should be on the main card, because Johnny Walker and Corey Anderson, these dudes are fucking beasts. Corey Overtime Anderson, ranked 7, 12-4 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 8 decision wins, 3 KO/TKO losses, 1 decision loss. He's on a 3-fight win streak over Patrick Cummins, Glover Teixeira, Lir Latifi. All unanimous decisions. This guy just wears on you. He's another one of those wrestlers. If he gets you to the ground, he's gonna keep. And if you try to get up on him, he's gonna keep taking you down, and you can't. Most people don't have an answer for it. But he got KO'd by Jimmy Manua badly. OSP and Gian Villante. But his wrestling's the best in the division. Corey Anderson's wrestling is the best in that division, honestly. Other than like Daniel Cormier. But DC's in the heavyweight division now, so this is gonna be interesting. Very questionable chin, dude. This guy's stand-up defense is I don't know. I feel like it needs some work. He does seem to improve in each one of his fights, though. Corey Anderson, man, this dude's, he doesn't get enough respect in the game. This guy's really good. I'm interested to see if he has any BJJ to offer, because his wrestling is so good. When he gets top control or anything, or gets a good position on you on the ground, he always he keeps punching, he keeps striking on you. This guy's super durable. He never gasses out in his fights. Corey Anderson just doesn't gas out. That's the one thing he's known for, is his cardio and his wrestling. So it's going to be a problem for Johnny Walker. I don't think Johnny Walker's 17-3 record, 14 KO/TKOs, 2 sub wins, 2 TKO losses, and 1 sub loss. He's on a 9-fight win streak. Johnny Walker is super explosive, one of the best in the division right now. He's a rising star. Came out of nowhere, really. No one even really knew who the guy was for a while. Freakish specimen. His skill set is ridiculous. Unorthodox style. You don't know what the fuck he's going to throw. He's huge. He's 6'5", 205. And this guy's super athletic, has a Muay Thai background. His clinch game is ridiculous. We've seen it with Khalil Roundtree. Khalil tried to use that Muay Thai with Johnny Walker, and Johnny Walker used it right back on him and elbowed him straight in the temple, and he went straight to sleep. So this guy's knees and elbows in the clinch are vicious. Like, if he gets you there, you're probably gonna you're going to sleep. Like, there's gonna be a bedtime story read to you. Long limbs. Uses his range very well too, man. This guy, he knows how to use his distance. And he got knocked out brutally by Henrique Silva Lopez back in 2016. It was a brutal knockout. The ref should have stopped it earlier. So this guy has been knocked out. I think a lot of people that have seen him in the UFC, they don't know much about his background and his other fights outside of the organizations, but he has been knocked out a few times, man. He got dominated on the ground. by Wagner Caldero. I think that's how you say his name. I watched his older highlights. I didn't know anything about him until he got into the UFC. But Johnny Walker gasses. He always gasses, and it makes a lot of sense. He cuts a lot of weight. He's 6'5" he weighs 205. That's a lot of weight to be cutting. And he always gasses in the second round. But the thing is people haven't got to see Johnny Walker outside of the first round. He's been knocking people out like ridiculously fast. All of his fights in the UFC have all been first round knockouts, and they've all been crazy. Flying knees, elbows, just you don't know what he's gonna fucking do. This one I got another question mark by. A lot of these fights on this fight card are kind of hard to pick because they did good matching up. The matchup people did great on this one. I'm rolling with Corey Anderson. I feel like people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy for picking against Johnny Walker because he's so explosive, and Corey Anderson is known to get knocked out. I'm rolling with Corey Anderson. He's the underdog. If it goes past the second round, Johnny Walker is going to gas out, plain and simple. He's super big. Corey Anderson doesn't get tired, and he's going to take him down. If Corey Anderson tries to play in Johnny Walker's game plan and tries to strike with him, and this is one of the fights I'm really looking forward to see, but if he tries to stand and strike with Johnny Walker, which I don't think he will, if he uses his brain, he's going to get the win for sure. But if he strikes with Johnny, Johnny's going to knock him out. Main card, Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie. This is gonna be a great fucking fight. I'm a fan of both of these dudes. The Motown Phenom, 17-5 record, 2 KOs/TKOs, 8 sub wins, 1 TKO loss, 2 sub losses on a 2-fight losing streak. He hasn't been doing that great, honestly. He lost to Dos Santos and he lost to Al again. The second time he's lost to Al. He gasses out in all of his fights, man. Even with him going up a weight class, he gassed out in his fight, and I'm not really sure what that. I don't know what that's from, but this guy's super well-rounded. If he could just get his cardio just a little bit better, dude, Kevin Lee could be a fucking champion. This guy could be a champion. It's just his cardio. And his chin is a little questionable. We've seen him get rocked by fucking, I can't think of his name right now, but we've seen him get rocked by that spinning heel kick, and he kind of did like a little like weird stanky leg dance. And that was towards the end of the fight. Barbosa almost knocked him out. But he's fighting Gregor Gillespie, man. 13-0 record, 6 KOs/TKOs, 5 sub wins, 2 decisions, 6-0 in the UFC, man. This guy hasn't been beaten in the UFC. He hasn't had anybody really test his abilities yet, man. He has the best cardio in the division, plain and simple. Gregor Gillespie, if you watch his YouTubes and you follow him on Instagram, you know he's always training. He's always doing some type of cardio. And this guy is relentless. And he's gonna, like Khabib says, this guy is gonna smash. He's gonna smash Kevin Lee, dude. Kevin Lee, if it goes past the first round, Kevin Lee's gonna be so gassed, he's not gonna have an answer for Gregor, dude. Gregor's gonna smash him. That's my most confident pick in this whole fight. And Kevin Lee's a beast. I'm a really big fan of him. But Gregor, man, his cardio is on another level. Never gets tired. Never. All right, I'm rolling with that guy for sure. Derek Lewis versus Blagoy Ivanov. The Black Beast. 21-7 record, 18 KOs/TKOs. That's ridiculous. 1 sub win. 4 KOs/TKO losses, 1 sub loss. Very unpredictable fighter. This guy, Derek Lewis, he's good. Very one-dimensional. The only thing I have to say about Derek Lewis is if he shows up and he's ready to fight and he wants to fight, he'll knock anybody out, anyone in the world out. But if he shows up and he's kind of half-assing and it doesn't really seem like he wants to be there, you're going to lose your money. Throws very low volume. We've seen it versus the Francis Ngannou fight. It was the lowest striking count ever in UFC history. Super boring fight. That was a while ago. Can't take punches to the body, man. This guy cannot take punches to the body. I don't know why, but he cannot take punches to the body. Whenever he takes punches or kicks to the body, it's over for him. He throws fucking bombs. We all know that, but that's all he has. That's really all he has. And he doesn't have any submission defense. He doesn't really have any ground defense. And he's fighting Blagoy Ivanov, 18-2 record, 6 KOs/TKOs, 6 sub wins, 1 sub loss, 1 decision loss. Super durable, and this guy has a Sambo background. That means if he's smart, he's going to take Derek Lewis down. He's going to keep him down. And being in the heavyweight division, if you go down, you don't have cardio, you're not going to get back up on your feet. And if you're as heavy as Derek Lewis, that max 265, 266, you're not going to get back up on your feet with someone as big as Blagoy on you. Plain and simple. So I'm rolling with Blagoy Ivanov to get the win. And he's got a chin. Blagoy can take a fucking punch. We've seen it in every one of his heavyweight fights. He doesn't have the best defense, and he can take a punch. But I feel like he'll strike with Derek Lewis for a little while, and then he'll use his Sambo background and get him to the ground and wear him down there. Next fight, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Vicente Luque. Great fucking matchup. Lost last 2 fights by decision to Darren Till and Anthony Pettis with that fucking off the cage punch, whatever that was, off the cage fucking hook. That shit was crazy. 14-4 record, 7 KOs/TKOs, 1 sub win, 1 KO loss, 3 decision losses. Man, he was having a great performance versus Anthony Pettis, and then Anthony Pettis caught him. He just caught him, Anthony. And also he was tearing Wonderboy's legs up really bad. Wonderboy has a very wide karate stance. He has a karate background, so having that wide, really wide stance, that in and out, he can do in and out movement very quick, and he can kick very quick. But the only thing is he leaves his legs out there to be just chopped like fucking wood. Karate style though. He's a very good counter striker too, man. Wonderboy, he blitzes his opponents with like a lot of punches at one time, 4, 5, 6 combination punch, and then he moves right back out. So he's a point striker, man. But he has KO power. This dude has KO power. He's precise with all of his techniques. And he's fighting Vicente Luque, the silent assassin. 17-6 record, 9 KOs/TKOs, 6 sub wins, 2 sub losses. His last few fights they've been wars, dude. I feel like he should have lost to Mike Perry. I feel like Mike Perry edged him and got the split. He should have got the split decision win, but I mean he didn't. So Vicente Luque, like I said, his last fights have been fucking crazy. This guy's durable. He hits hard. He's well-rounded. He has submission game. He has wrestling defense. He has it all. He has a good chin, and he doesn't get hit that much. Like he does get hit, but it's kind of like the hits are never really clean. He always kind of moves out of the way a little bit of them. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Wonderboy though. I think Vicente Luque definitely has a chance of beating him on this one. And Thompson's, he seems hungry, man. He needs to get a win. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. And the last loss was it was his first time ever getting KO'd. So I feel like he's gonna want to get something back off of that. Yeah, that's gonna be a really good fight. I'm looking forward to that one. Next fight, Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till. This is another great fight. Kelvin Gastelum, 16-3 record versus the Gorilla, 17-2 record. We all know what these guys are bringing to the table. Darren Till, great counter striker, but he does pressure his opponents. He's lost his last 2 fights. Got knocked out really bad, pretty vicious by Jorge Masvidal. It's not a bad loss to have on your record. Masvidal, we all see what he's doing in the division right now. And Kelvin Gastelum just came off of a war with Israel Adesanya. Straight war, dude. Like, he got knocked down 3 or 4 times, and he almost knocked out Adesanya. He rocked him in the first round. Like, that fight was fight of the year to me. Those dudes, straight beasts. I haven't really made a pick for Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till. This is a really hard one for me to pick. A lot of people are leaning towards Kelvin Gastelum just for the simple fact that Darren Till got knocked out in his last fight, and I think people are they're kind of sleeping on Darren Till now just because he lost a few matches, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. He has a 17-2 record. That's a great record. But Kelvin Gastelum, he's great with his blitzes. He comes in real fast, and if he touches that chin, you're going to sleep. And the same with Darren Till. If he touches your chin, you're going to sleep. So both these guys have knockout power. Oh, man. I'm gonna roll with Kelvin Gastelum on this one. I'm a big fan of Darren Till as well, but I gotta pick Kelvin Gastelum. I feel like his cardio is probably better as well than Darren Till's. And Darren Till's going up a weight class, so this is gonna be interesting to see if he has more cardio, if he's more fresh, if he has more power. He's not cutting as much water weight, so and also if his chin holds up better, because cutting all that water weight, it's easier for you to get knocked out. Main event. So yeah, I'm rolling with Kelvin Gastelum. Main event. Jorge Masvidal, Gamebred versus Nate Diaz, man. 33-13 record for Jorge Masvidal. That's insane. And he's still hella young, man. This guy's been fighting since he was like a little kid, dude. Backyard fights and shit. He's fighting Nate Diaz, 20-11 record. Jorge's been around a little longer than Diaz, but they're both now finally getting a little bit of shine time. They got the spotlight on them right now. I'm a fan of both of these dudes. I really want to pick Nate Diaz because I'm from California, but man, Diaz's last performance versus Anthony Pettis was insane. A lot of people were sleeping on him, thinking that he was going to lose and Pettis was going to beat him because he had a 2.5-year layoff and he wasn't fighting for a little while. But that doesn't mean anything, man. just because you have a layoff, that doesn't, I don't feel like ring rust is really a real thing, especially if you're still training, you're still in the gym, you're still doing all the stuff you're supposed to be doing. It's not like he wasn't training over that 2 years. He was training that whole time. And Masvidal had a layoff as well. Both of these guys came back, and I feel like it benefited both of them, because now look at what the position that they're in. But I'm rolling with Jorge, man. I feel like Jorge could honestly knock out Nate Diaz. Diaz gets hit a lot. He gets hit a lot, dude. I mean, he has great boxing technique, great boxing offense. I'm not going to say his boxing defense is that great, because he stands up straight and he gets hit a lot. And Masvidal doesn't get hit like that. Masvidal's definitely going to be the smaller fighter. He's going to have the reach disadvantage, but Masvidal's no joke, man. We all seen what he did to Ben Askren. We've seen what he did to Darren Till. We see what Diaz can do. Diaz is a cardio king. Masvidal doesn't get tired either. This could go either way. Shit, flip a coin. Fuck. But I'm rolling with Masvidal, game bred, probably second, maybe even third round KO. Yeah, those are my fight predictions. If you guys want to drop a comment, drop a like, do so. Subscribe. And yeah, tell me who you guys think are good picks.
Drop a like, subscribe.
Tell me who you guys think are good picks and who you guys are picking. I want to hear everybody's insight, because I don't know. I might have to change a few at the last minute, because I do need to watch the weigh-ins. The weigh-ins tell me a lot usually if someone looks healthy.
You wanted my insight because you wanted to cheat.
Yeah, the weigh-ins tell me a lot though. With just seeing how people are and what they look like, you can sometimes it works against you though, because looks are deceiving.
Looks are deceiving.
But sometimes they do work in my favor. So yeah, hopefully everybody enjoys the fights.
Yeah.